Namaskar. Welcome to Hamska Academy. Today we'll be looking at Grade 7 Civics, Chapter 2, Role of the State Government in the Health Sector, or Role of the Government in the Health Sector. This is Unit 2 of Grade 7. And in this chapter, we are going to discuss about health. Health is an important issue for all of us. So, health plays an important role in everyone's life. So, in this chapter, we'll be discussing what is health, what is a description of health, how can we say that a particular person is healthy. Then we move on to look at private and public facilities which are provided for health provisioning, healthcare in India. As per the Constitution, what is our fundamental right? Are we having equal opportunities for everyone regarding the safety of the health? So the learners will begin to visualize the ideal or the desired role of government and the meaning behind its structures. So in this chapter, we will be mainly looking at what is health, how is health provisions provided, public and private, healthcare in India, the constitutional provisions in India. Then the learners, the students will be able to visualize the ideal or the desired role of government and the meaning behind its structures, how the structures are laid, some ways in which this situation can be changed are also discussed. So here we are going to discuss what is health, what is public sector, private sector of health, constitutional provisions, role of government, and the learners to see how better we can provide the facilities, and we will also look at some of the suggestions that can be given to the improvement of the health sector in our country. So this is the chapter name, Role of the Government in Health. Role of the government in health. So in democracy, as we all know, people expect the government to work for their welfare. As we all know the definition of democratic government, it is for the people, of the people, by the people, as rightly said by Abraham Lincoln. So in democracy, generally, people always believe that government has to work for their welfare. This could be through the provisions of education, health, employment, housing, or developing of the roads and electricity. Like this, the list goes on. So the expectations of the public on a democratic government mainly through the provisions of education, health, employment, housing, and development of roads. So in this chapter, we will be looking at the meanings and the problems related to health. In this chapter, as the title suggests, role of the government in health. Let us look at that. You can see here the pictures of the poor people, middle class people, how the ambulances go there and how the people stay. You can see here and understand where there are no sanitation facilities properly provided, and actually the roofs are also not properly made. You can understand the problems which are going to be here regarding the health. See the medical people coming and taking the survey and providing them. Look at the water facilities here where they don't have proper drainage system, no clean water is available. So what is health? What is health? When we think of health in many ways, what is health? So you need to know that health means our ability to remain free from illness and injuries. So is it that fine if you are free from illness and injuries? But it is also that you will not be getting any kind of diseases. So we often ignore the diseases. What is health? Health means the ability of an individual to remain free from illness or without getting affected by any kind of diseases. So you can make a note of this one. What is health? The ability of an individual to remain free from illness. That is called health. It is not healthy to be dull, inactive, anxious, scared for long stretches of time. So we all should also maintain mental fitness. We all should be healthy. What can we say that you are healthy means? You are not dull, you are not inactive, you are not anxious, you are not scared for a long stretch of time, will also be considered as the person is healthy. Let us go further. So basically, health means what? We also expect the government, if people can get clean drinking water and pollution free environment, they are likely to be healthy. Clean drinking water and pollution free environment. On the other hand, if people don't get adequate food to eat or have to live in cramped conditions, this will also put them in the threat of illness. So basically, what is health? Your ability to remain free from illness. Your ability to remain free from illness. You are not prone to any diseases. So how can a person be without being prone to any illness? So the government should provide good drinking water facility, environment which is pollution free, and also sufficient food. If we are having the ability to remain free from illness, pollution free environment, clean drinking water, and sufficient supply of food, if these four aspects are there, then we can say that you are healthy. You will not be prone to any kind of illness. So this is very, very important for us to understand that we need to have good clean and drinking water facility, environment free pollution, no long stress of anxiety, scaredness, dullness, and also ability to remain free from illness. This is called health. What is health? You need to cover all these four aspects. Then only you can say that you are healthy. So till now we discussed what is health. Let us now look at healthcare in India. Healthcare in India. How is the healthcare facility in India? Let us examine some of the aspects of healthcare in India, compare and contrast the situations expressed in the first and the second column. So here they are giving us a comparative table. We can see here, India is one of the largest number of medical colleges in the world, is among the largest producer of doctors. Approximately annually we produce 15,000 doctors. When it comes to the settlement, most of the doctors settle in urban areas. People in the rural areas have to travel for long distances to reach to a doctor. So the number of doctors with respect to the population is much less in the rural areas. Coming to the healthcare facilities. Healthcare facilities have grown substantially over the years. In 1950, there were only 2,717 hospitals in India. But in 1991, there were 11,174 hospitals, and in 2000, we have 18,218. So you can see the substantial growth over the years in the number of hospitals. About 5 lakh people die from tuberculosis every year. This number is almost unchanged since independence. almost 2 million cases of malaria are reported every year, and this number is not decreasing. So though the facilities are increasing, the conditions are not changing in our country, the ground level. India gets large number of medical tourists from many countries. This is because some of the hospitals in India are compared for the best treatments in the world. They are considered as the best hospitals. But we are not able to provide clean drinking water to all people. 21% of all communicable diseases are waterborne. Diarrhea, worms, hepatitis, all these are waterborne diseases. India is the third largest producer of medicines in the world and is also a large exporter of medicines. Half of the Indian children in India do not have adequate food to eat and are undernutrition. So the health facilities are showing us the different pictures with the ability of increasing the hospitals. When compared to 1950 to 2000, we have substantially increased the number, but we are not able to provide the facilities at the ground level. Even today, most of the people are not able to get the clean drinking water. Number of doctors settling in the rural areas is really very less. So in India, roughly 5 lakh people die annually suffering with tuberculosis. So though we are improving in the terms of number of hospitals, producing number of doctors, but are we able to reach to common people? There is a lot of gap with the numbers and with the ground reality. The ground reality, we are not able to get reached with the common people, the medical care facility. See, in order to prevent and treat illness, we need to appropriate healthcare facilities such as health centers, hospitals, laboratories for testing, ambulance services, blood banks, etc., which can provide the required number of services that patients need. In order to run such facilities, we need health workers, nurses, qualified doctors, and other health professionals who can advise, diagnose, and treat the illnesses. We also need the medicines and equipment that are necessary for treating patients. These facilities are required to take care of us. You can see here, as we need to increase the facilities to reach to the common people, we need to send them the more ambulances, more doctors, more hospitals, more primary healthcare centers, more nurses to treat the people at the ground level. That's where we can provide the better healthcare facilities to all these people. In India, we have large number of doctors, clinics, and hospitals. They are considerable experienced and knowledge in running a public healthcare sector. This is a system of hospitals and healthcare centers run by the government. It has the ability to look after the health of a large section of population scattered over hundreds of thousands of villages. However, second column points out the health situation in our country. With all above the positive developments, we are not able to provide proper healthcare facilities to people. This is a paradox, something that is contrary to what we would expect. Our country has the money, knowledge, and people with experience, but we cannot make the necessary healthcare available to all. So in India, we have large number of hospitals, doctors, we have money, we have facilities, we have experience, but the number of villages, the number of people getting the medical facilities is not showing the data which is matching with them. It is a contrary picture what we are getting from column 1 to column 2. Though we have public healthcare system, in every district we have a hospital, in every village we have a primary healthcare center, but are we able to treat the people effectively? Are we able to provide good, clean drinking water to all the people? That is still a question mark which needs to be addressed seriously. So there are concerns, and still we need to improve our healthcare facility to a very large extent. Today, the public health sector is not able to fulfill all the needs of the common man. Here is an example which is given for us, the cost of a cure. Aman and Rajan are good friends. While Rajan comes from a well-to-do family, Aman's parents have to struggle to meet the ends. So we are discussing about two families where Aman and Rajan comes from a well-to-do family, a rich family, while Aman comes from a middle-class family. So Aman is a middle-class boy. It's good to see you back. How have you been? I had viral fever and I had to go to the hospital. So Aman is explaining his experience here. Oh, me too. I just got back to school on Monday. My dad took me to see the doctor at a new hospital in Kingsway. So now Rajan is telling his experience. It was very exciting. The building looked so posh. I thought it was a 5-star hotel. But my dad said that was because it was a private hospital with the best facilities. So Rajan is explaining his experience of private hospital treatment. His father has paid rupees 5,000 at the reception counter, and they met the doctor. They were having a nice music played and everything was really clean and shiny. But when it comes to the doctors, the doctor asked for many tests, but everyone was friendly with him. The lady took my blood for testing, told me so many jokes that I forgot to feel my pain. After the test results have come, we went back to the doctor and he looked them and said everything was fine. I only had viral fever. He prescribed some medicines. So this is the experience of Rajan attending a private hospital. So he said thank you and they moved back. But when it comes to here, you see, I have been dying to tell you about it. Which hospital did you go? Oh, it was not nice as yours. This boy started to feel shy. At first, did not want to take me because he said it would take much time. So parents also were not interested to take him to the hospital because they might lose that day's pay. So it was really, they went to a big government hospital where they have to wait for a long queue on the OPD counter. You can see the queue here, the OPD counter. And I was feeling so sick that I have been leaning to Abba at all the time. So he was not feeling well, but still he has to wait in the queue. And when our turn came, the doctor examined and asked for blood tests. So then again we have to go and stand in another long queue for the blood test. We got the results after 3 days and we went back to the hospital. There was a different doctor that day. So the doctors were changing. They took a long time, 3 days. It seems he was suffering from about a viral fever. Nothing to worry about. All he needs is one fever reducing medicine. My hospital was nice, but they gave me many medicines, and that whole thing cost quite a lot. Oh, my treatment did not cost so much. So for them, they gave the government medicines. Now what the case study tells us is, there are two types of healthcare facilities available in our country. One is public, the other one is private. The experiences of Rajan are completely different with compared to the experiences of Aman. Aman had to stand in long queues and then wait for his turn. Though he is not feeling well, he has to go through all this process. But Rajan did not wait anywhere in the queue. He did not wait anywhere in the queue, but at the same time, he was having a pleasure experience, a happy experience. He was feeling everyone is friendly with him, so that he forgot the pain of the injections. We need to understand here, those who are rich, they are able to afford and go to the private hospitals. But those who are poor are still struggling to get the healthcare facilities. Let us see here. We can divide the healthcare sector into two categories. One is public, where Aman has gone, private, where Rajan has gone. Now coming to the public healthcare facilities. Public healthcare facilities or services is a big chain of healthcare centers where the hospitals are run by the government. They are linked together with the urban and the rural areas. So here in the urban areas and in the rural areas, they also provide treatment for all kinds of common illnesses to special services. At the village level, we'll have healthcare centers. There is usually a nurse and a village health officer or a worker. They are trained in dealing with the common illnesses under the supervision of doctors at the primary healthcare center. Such a center covers many villages in a rural area. At the district level is a district hospital that also supervises all the healthcare centers. The large cities have many government hospitals, such as one where Aman was taken and he was given treatment. So, the healthcare, the public is for many reasons. In order to fulfill its commitment of providing healthcare to all citizens, the governments have established the hospitals and the healthcare centers. The resources needed to run these hospitals are obtained from the money that we have, the public pay to the government as taxes. Hence, such facilities are meant for everyone. One of the most important aspects of public healthcare sector is that it is meant to provide quality healthcare services either free or at very low cost, and they treat the diseases like TB, malaria, jaundice and cholera. So the government sector, as we discussed, the healthcare sector can be divided into two main parts or two main divisions: public healthcare sector and private healthcare sector. In the public healthcare sector, the large chain of hospitals are run under the public healthcare sectors, and these are run by the government. The money which is paid through taxes by the public is used to run these hospitals or primary healthcare centers. In most of the villages, we have primary healthcare centers, and in the districts, we have district hospitals. All these are maintained by government. The money used for maintaining these hospitals is taken from the tax which are paid by the common people. So these hospitals are for all the people at very less cost or no cost. These hospitals are maintained with the public funds, so these hospitals can be used by all public citizens. What are the diseases that these hospitals cover? From common diseases to critical illness diseases. They have all the facilities, but the point is the number of hospitals are not matching with the population demand. We have one district hospital for the entire district, and few villages are having 3 or 4 villages, one primary healthcare center. So that's where the actual problem comes. They could not meet all the demands, and they take care of the diseases, spreading of the diseases like malaria, jaundice, tuberculosis, all these diseases. They give preventive measure injections or medicines for the common people. In the primary healthcare center, we have a nurse and a medical attendant to take care of the small diseases what they get under the supervision of a doctor in a physical healthcare center or primary healthcare center. So according to the constitution, it is the duty of the government to provide and ensure the welfare of all the people and provide healthcare facilities to all. You can see here the government clearly mentions in the constitution. So as per our constitution, it is the primary duty of the government to take care of health facilities to all of us. Government should also safeguard the right to life of every person. The court said that the difficulty that Hakim Sheikh had to face could have cost him his life. If a hospital can provide timely medical treatment to a person, that means this protection of life is given. If there is no timely treatment, it is not given. The court also said that it is a duty of the government to include the healthcare services, emergency situations. Hospitals and medical staff must fulfill their duty providing the necessary treatment. So as per the Constitution of India, this is the basic duty of the government to provide primary healthcare facilities to all its citizens. In the right to life, the court has clearly mentioned that in the case of Hakim Sheikh or in any other case, there should be proper treatment meted during the emergency time. If there is a delay in that, sometimes it can cost the life of the person also. So the court has clearly mentioned the duty of the government to take care compulsorily for all the common people's lives and healthcare system. Let us now look at the private healthcare system. Private healthcare facilities. There is a wide range of private healthcare facilities in our country. You can see the large number of doctors run their own private hospitals or clinics. Even in rural areas, we have registered medical practitioners. In the urban areas, we have large number of doctors, many of them providing specialized services. So there are hospitals and nursing homes that are privately owned, and much of the laboratories that do tests and offer special facilities such as X-ray, ultrasound are always having shops where we buy the medicines. And as the name suggests, the private healthcare is not owned or controlled by the government, and in private facilities, patients have to pay a lot of money for every service that they use. Today, the presence of private facilities can be seen all around. In fact, now there are large companies that all run hospitals. Some are engaged in manufacturing and selling medicines. Medical shops are found in every corner of the country. Coming to the medical care facilities in the private hospitals. The private hospitals are many hospitals in our country. Let us say it in rural areas or in the urban areas. In the rural areas, we have the RMPs, the registered medical practitioners who have their private clinics. And we have in the cities the specialized doctors, heart specialist, pediatrician. Like that, we have for every wing of your body a specialized doctor in cities. We also have the private laboratories which take the X-rays, ultrasound scans and everything, and also private medical shops where we go and buy our medicines. So the private sector is actually very costly affair. For every service which you avail from a private hospital, we need to pay for that one. So it's a costly affair. Though we have private hospitals, the government is also trying to bring good services in the government hospitals. Now, the fundamental problem with the private and the public is private hospitals are profit motive hospitals. They cost for every service what you avail from them. And in case you don't have money, they don't offer you treatment, no matter what kind of emergency that comes. So private hospitals are a costly hospital. Healthcare and equality. Is adequate healthcare available to all? In India, we face a situation where the private sector are increasing, but public sector or public services are not increasing. What is then available to people in mainly private services? They are concentrated only to urban areas. The cost of the services is rather very high. Medicines are expensive. Many people cannot afford them or have to borrow money when there is an illness in the family. Some of the private services encourage incorrect practices to earn money. At times, inexpensive alternatives, though available, may not be used. For example, some medical practitioners are found to prescribe superfluous medicines, injections, or saline when simple medication may suffice. So, it is in fact barely only 20% of the population can afford all the medicines that they require during a critical illness. Jan Ashunudi is a medical stores, Dam Kam, Dawai Uttam. So the government, central government has come up with the medicines where the people can buy with very less cost the medicines. As I told you that in the private hospitals, the number of private hospitals are increasing in India in contrary to the government hospitals. Because of this, in the urban areas, the people are only forced to go to the private hospitals because the number of hospitals are very less when it comes to the government hospitals. So because the private hospitals are increasing, the people, those who are going to avail the facilities in the private hospitals, have to pay more. Generally, the private hospitals charge more, and for every facility they charge. They don't prefer to go with a low cost treatment. Sometimes they prefer to go with high cost treatments which is not required. Though there are alternatives, they don't prefer to go with low cost treatments. They prefer to go with the high cost treatments. Though with a small medicine they can suffice, they don't use that because their motto is not to do service to public. Their motto is to earn profits through medicines, through the medical treatment. This is where the actual difference comes. And if you go to the rural areas, these private hospitals are also very less. And when you go to the tribal areas, hardly the people will be able to find hospitals. In the tribal areas, they have to walk miles and miles to go for a hospital or to get a treatment. Because there, the tribal areas, as the name suggests, they are mostly in the hilly regions. No much government hospitals are there. No private hospitals will be there. And these tribal communities struggle a lot even with the common illnesses. They can't find or go to a hospital because they have to travel miles. And if there is any illness, the common man cannot bear the cost in the private hospitals. Either they have to take a loan or borrow money from somebody to fulfill the treatment cost, because basically in private hospitals the cost of the treatment is really very high, and only 40% of the people are able to afford. More than 50% of the people are not in a position to bear the cost of the private hospital. What can be done? There is a little doubt that health situation of most people in our country is not good. Yes, it is the responsibility of the government to ensure that all citizens will get good healthcare facilities. However, health is much dependent on basic amenities, social conditions. So we need to take care of that services. So in 1996, the Kerala government has made some changes in the state and made sure that 40% of the entire budget was given to panchayats. They could plan and provide for their requirements. This made it possible for the villages to make sure that proper planning was done for water, food, women education and development. Then the supply schemes were checked. Working of the schools and Anganwadis was ensured. Health centers were also improved and also improved the situation. Despite of these efforts, however, there are certain medical problems such as shortage of medicines, insufficient hospital beds, and not enough doctors need to be addressed. Similarly, we have one more approach, that is the Costa Rican approach. It's one of the countries in Central America. The main reason to find this Costa Rican constitution is several years ago that Costa Rica took a very important decision and decided not to have any army. This helped the Costa Rican government to spend money that on the army will be used on healthcare sector. So the Costa Rican government believes that country has to be healthy for its development and pays a lot for the attention of the health of the public. So the Costa Rican government provides basic services and amenities to all the Costa Ricans, such as drinking water, sanitation, nutrition, housing, healthcare, etc. So how can we bridge the gap? How can we make the situation better? We can take one example of Kerala's approach, because the health sector is a combination of different other factors. It is interdependent on different other factors, providing of good water facility, sanitation facilities, then affordable food. Then only people can be healthy. So in Kerala, they have changed the constitution and allocated 40% of the budget funds for the panchayats. The panchayats can decide and take the steps to improve their own villages. Healthcare facilities are improved, education facilities are improved, water supply is improved. So certain basic facilities are improved in Kerala from 1996. So when Kerala started to provide funds like this, the number of illnesses has come down. Of course, there are challenges still. Lack of good medicines, insufficient beds are still challenges, and effective doctors working are to be addressed. But Kerala is able to see a good improvement when compared to other states. Similarly, there is a country called Costa Rica in North America or the Latin American countries. This country has changed the constitution and suspended the army because they believed that the people should be healthy and every aspect of health has to be taken care. So the Costa Rican government has suspended the army, and the funds which are used for army are used for healthcare facilities. So what do? They provide the basic water, sanitation, healthcare, and any kind of illness, the treatment is taken care by the government. So there are two approaches in the healthcare, and also one is the Indian Kerala example, the other one is Costa Rican example. So like this, in India, the healthcare is very, very important and need of the hour. We cannot ignore the facts, the reality situation. Though there are thousands of doctors produced every year, in the ground level, in the rural areas, we don't have that much of healthcare facilities available. We need to bridge that gap. There are rich people who are able to go to the private hospitals in the urban areas. But what about the rural areas? We may approach, or we may have a plan to implement the Kerala type approach in all the states in our country, or we can ask the government to look at the Costa Rican approach. And though we may not be able to suspend the army operations, but we can balance some amounts of the funds towards the healthcare sector, because health of the public is the responsibility of the governments, which is as per the Indian Constitution and also the court's judgments. So in this chapter, we learned what is health, what are the healthcare facilities, how the facilities are available for the public and the private, and how we are not able to balance that one. What are the approaches or some of the suggested solutions like 1996 Kerala approach or the Costa Rican approach. But the Constitution clearly mentions that it is the responsibility of the governments to ensure healthcare facilities to all its citizens. So on this note, I would like to close here. Thank you very much for watching.